What's up, guys? This is Frozen Card Gaming. We're here with Lundrity coming off a second place finish at LCS 5. Why don't you introduce yourself and the deck you played?
Yeah, I'm Lundrity, and I got second place at the LCS with Megalith.
Hell yes. Alright, so why don't you just walk us through your deck list then? You know better than I do.
Yeah, so starting off, I played a lot of starters. I played 3 Manju and 2 Senju as my normal summon. I didn't play any more because I didn't want to like draw multiples, especially when the deck already has kind of a problem with bricking.
Right.
And I played Manju and Senju over Gale Dogra because Manju and Senju are level 4. So you can use them for Gallon Granite. And they're also searchable off of Cyber Angel Ben 10. Which is pretty good.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and then
It plays Diviner as well, right? When it,
Divine is really good because it's a Manju Senju that's a tuner, so it makes Needle Fiber super easily. But unfortunately, we don't have it,
right.
so I gotta make do. Yeah, and then the other starters are 3 Incantation Chalice Slime, the level 7 ritual monster. That's really good because it gets you to basically every card in your deck. And the Incantation spell, Incantation Inception, generates a lot of advantage, so we're good with that. And then 3, I played 3, I'm kind of going out of order here, but 3 Prep and 3 Extra Foolish Burial. Because those are starters because they get you to your Chalice Slime while also searching the other ritual cards in your deck. And then the last starter I played was Megalith Unformed, basically a quick play ritual spell that lets you ritual summon from your deck by tributing monsters, and then has another effect which reduces your opponent's monster's attack, but that doesn't really come up except versus like Megaclops.
right, yeah. This card's also crazy. You play around like a ton of different cards with this card.
Yeah, because it's a quick play, so you can just chain it like Drachma Punishment, Infinite Impermanence, whatever, and just dodge it, which is really nice.
Right. Is there anything
And then
to explain about the Megalith ratios in this deck, or are they mostly self-explanatory?
So for the Megalith monsters, I played 3 Haggith and 3 Ulfil. It's not necessarily that you want to open like multiple, but I just go through all copies of them, so I played 3 of each. And I played 1 Auk. Auk is the worst one to draw, but you have to play it because it's your only way to summon your Magician of Black Chaos Max during your opponent's turn.
Right.
So that's why I play 1 of it. Then I played 2 Aerotron, 2 Betlor, and 1 Phaleg. They all kind of serve a similar purpose. They're level 8 ritual monsters that have a discard effect that says you can discard this card to ritual summon a Megalith ritual monster. So I kind of like use them like as like the same card, and I just like play 5 copies of like level 8s. And then I play this specific ratio of the level 8s because 1 Phaleg is because you only want to summon it when you're going for game. And then 2 Betlor and 2 Airtron. I wanted to split that because like I want access to more than 1 Betlor. Because if I like summon the Betlor from the deck and like gets to a grind game, I want to have the option to summon it again. And then Airtron is really good because it's a quick effect, so you can use it during your opponent's turn. Whereas the others are not quick effects.
Right. Yeah. And 3 Fool. So why is this card so important for this deck?
It does a lot. On ritual summon, it adds the cards from your graveyard to hand. Any ritual monster, so it doesn't have to be a Megalith. It could be like a Ben 10 or a Chaos Max or Chalice Slime. And then it lets you ritual summon a monster from your deck, which is also really good. Basically cutting out most of the parts of a ritual summon. And it has a low level too, so it doesn't require many monsters to summon. I was testing with 2 of this before. There were like some grind games where I summoned 3, and like having the option to summon it off of Unformed later in the game is also nice. So I ran 3 of it.
Sure. And then the extra deck?
Yeah, I played Union Carrier for block dragon access if Gallon Granite was negated. Linkross is just for Needle Fiber plays. Unicorn and Phoenix are just utility cards. Needle Fiber is for the combo to make your Herald to make Savage and to go into King Calamity. Asa is in your combo, you use a generic Link 2 to go into. You need one. Also is a good one because it's Earth. And its effect is relevant going second versus Adamancipator. Because if you to bring back like a level 4 from their graveyard or a tuner, if you don't have Needle Fiber access to get the Needle Fiber. 1 Gallon Granite searches Block Dragon, and all your Megalith monsters. Well, you have a lot of level 4s, so easy to make. Metal Marchers for the combo. King Calamity is the main guy you're trying to summon.
You were bodying people all weekend with this card. This card is
Yeah,
beast.
yeah, this card hasn't really seen play like that, and just when you synchro summon it, for the rest of your turn, your opponent can't activate cards, and cards they control cannot activate their effects, and your opponent can't respond to it either. So when you use like Formula's effects to synchro summon, they'll just like let it go, and then they just can't respond after King Calamity summoned. So it's really good.
Right.
2 Hero of the Arclight. You summon one, and then I play the second because I'm running extra Foolish Burial, so I wanted that option. 1 Formula Synchron for combo,
Right.
and then Savage Dragon is a negate you can end on that helps protect your board. And King Calamity requires a level 8 Dark Dragon Synchro.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 1 Elder Entity Entis for utility with extra Foolish Burial. And it's also can be good if you get hit by Maximus.
Right. So
as well.
Did this come up in your cut match where you outed a skill drain with it? Did this come up at all in other matches?
It didn't. There was one game versus Sky Striker round 1 where I went second, and he sets 3 passes, and like I drew extra Foolish Burial, so I just like the only card I lose to in that deck is like there could be only one basically. So like I just kept the extra Foolish Burial in my hand until like he had his last set, so I could make sure like I could out it. I mean, it wasn't that there could be only one, but just in case.
All right, sounds good. Let's decide real quick.
Decided to play 1 red reboot, just like back row, like Eldlik decks, evenly matched. It was pretty good against the regular Eldlik Dogma deck. I dealt with solid against Invoke Dogma as well. XYZ Encore is for the Numeron decks, so I don't auto lose to that, but I didn't play versus a single Numeron. Yeah, there were no Numeron in the tournament, so that was useless. I never sided that in. Dark Ruler and Spear Mode were for combo, except Infernal Knights, because Smoke Grenade's a card. Mm-hmm. And the Ghost Ogre is something that I never actually sided in. I didn't know what to put for my last 2 spots, and it was like 30 minutes before I'd submit my deck list, so I just put in 2 random cards, and it happened to be Ghost Ogre. I never sided in, though.
Right, so between the 2 Ghost Ogres and the Gammas, you only have like 5 hand traps across your main and side. Was that fine for you?
I didn't really feel like, because like versus Adamantipator, I don't think I need to draw hand traps. I can just draw like one of Dark Ruler or Spear Mode, and I win. Even if they go for like Dweller and Dragon Buster. Even same thing versus like Dragon Link. Like I just have a lot of like blowout cards like that. Like I can like Dark Ruler, like Eldlik Synchro and whatnot. So that's fine. So it only sucks versus Infernal Knights, and then if people are playing like Dragon Link FTK. But no one's playing that.
Right.
And also, like, one thing with Megalith is the deck doesn't have a lot of space to run, like, a lot of defensive cards. Because it's a ritual deck, so, like, there are a bunch of cards in the deck that just don't do anything on their own, like Megalith Ophiel and Megalith Haggith. So if you draw, like, multiple defensive cards, like multiple hand traps, then there's the issue of, like, your hand just not doing anything. So you have to run, like, cards that are just, like, blowouts by themselves, like Dark Ruler Spear Mode, Evenly, Red Reboot, XYZ Encore.
Sure.
Which can, yeah.
Right. So how do you think this deck stacks up to the rest of the meta right now?
I don't think it's very good. Just nobody like knew what to stop. I think versus like compared to other combo decks, like it plays through hand traps worse than Adamantipator and Dragon Link. The M board's arguably stronger because King Calamity is a card, but it plays through hand traps worse than those decks, and it goes second a bit worse than those decks as well. But when nobody knows what cards to stop, that kind of helps mitigate some of that.
So I guess the question is here, what cards do you stop? Because it didn't look like anyone knew how to stop you this tournament.
I think stopping Gallant Granite's the big one, stopping the Block Dragon access, and also Union Carrier as well, which I used to get to Block Dragon. And then besides those, like especially if you're going second versus the deck, stopping them from getting access to the ritual spell, Incantation Inception, is pretty important, like the Chalice Slime, because that generates a lot of advantage on its own. The incantation stuff. So like those are like the main things to stop versus the deck.
So do you think it's ever correct to hit this deck early on, or do you think you just wait for cards like Gallant? Because it almost whenever they try to stop you on cards like Gallant, you just had infinite gas to follow up.
I think waiting for Gallant's fine, because I mean sometimes you're just your hand will be able to play through like no matter what they stop. If you have something like Nibiru, like you can choose to like Nibiru them either like on Gallant summon if that's like their 5th summon, or like wait until they're about to summon Herald. But you gotta be careful because even if like they stop your like synchro plays, you can still like chaos max them. And, like that can just be enough. So
Right. So you said that this deck, you don't think it's as good as the rest of the meta. So despite that, why did you want to play this deck for LCS?
I just really like ritual decks and I like Megaliths. And I spent a lot of time talking about the deck to other people, so like I felt like I had to play it.
Yeah, no, this is true. I was one of those people. I can verify that. So are there any changes you'd make going forward?
I think it's arguable that I think most of my extracts are pretty good. The only thing that might change is Nightmare Phoenix. That was the last minute addition. I mean, it ended up winning me a match, but still, that's not really necessary for the deck to function. In the side deck, probably not siding XYZ Encore, and probably not siding Ghost Ogre.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what I would take out though.
Do you think the deck is more or less perfect?
I mean, I think my main deck is good. I think my Megalith Ritual, I think all the ratios for my main deck is good, and I think Gamma's like fine right now. Like combo can like kind of play through it, which kind of sucks. But I didn't want to main deck Dark Ruler instead of Gamma because Gamma also hits like it's really good versus Eldritch Synchro and Invoke Dogma, and yeah, the non-combo decks as well. And then sometimes it can stop combo by itself. So I thought it was the best card to main deck, and I didn't feel like the deck could main deck any more hand traps without like hurting its ability to play through hand traps itself.
Would you consider playing more Block Dragon, or do you think one is correct in this deck?
I think one is correct in this deck because unlike Adamancipator, like in Adamancipator, you have a lot of cards that like do stuff on their own. You have like all the tuners which can generate advantage and just like all your cards kind of do stuff. Whereas in this deck, it's a ritual deck, so you need multiple cards to play. So like you don't actually want to draw Block Dragon unless the rest of your hand is just like starters. And like even though you do have a lot of starters, you also have a lot of cards that like don't do anything on their own, like Megalith Haggith, Megalith Ophiel, etc., etc. So like drawing Block Dragon can actually just like hurt your ability to play through a hand trap, so you don't really want to draw it. And also like it can take like a lot of resource. It's not easy to set up like Block Dragon if you aren't able to play. So it's not something you're trying to do early anyway.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I think that's pretty much going to do it for in terms of questions. Do you have any last words or shoutouts you want to give out?
I don't have any last words or shoutouts or anything. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, if we see Megalith price spikes in the future, that's going to be because of you. So, awesome.